Good. So let's go ahead and start this off. Copa America, King Sejong Station. Don't go anywhere, guys. See you in a sec. All right, welcome to Copa America. Let me just get these names up there on the top. There we go. That looks really nice. First cast of the day. First best of 3. This is Rifkin, joined tonight by Zombie Grab, and we're both here on Copa America, the English cast, the coolest cast. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, though. He is from Crossfire Gaming. We've seen a lot of these guys in the qualifiers so far. It's Hushang. Hushang?
In the upper left, as the blue Protoss, it is Space.
I figured, like, maybe if I yell it and just, like, add a little more of a twang to the accent, it'll make it cooler, but I was wrong.
Yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, well, PvP, King Sejong Station. I don't know what really needs to be said about this right now. The matchup itself is already pretty, I'd say, imbalanced. It's so weird to call it like a mirror matchup imbalance, but it really is, because if you got one player who's discernibly better than the other in skill, it shows very quickly. Now granted, a lot of the times these PvPs end up being pretty well matched, and some of the quote-unquote worst ones we see are actually end up the best ones. My reference to this in context of what I'm talking about is if you guys saw Fear Dragons breaking out, for example. We cast quite a few PvPs over there. Well, I cast quite a few PvPs over there with Fear Dragon, and when we were playing the games, I was kind of like, oh boy, you know, these aren't Koreans. The PvP might be alright at best, but they were some of the late game ones. They're the ones that made it to the Colossus versus the Colossus. The intensity of PvP. Rivals, like, there's no rival for it when done correctly. But the problem is, due to just the basic structure of Protoss units, you know, being expensive, being hard to make, you know, losing one unit early on can really snowball fast.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can't really sugarcoat it, but Space is Platinum. I believe that, you know, that's literally what he is. I didn't actually check his profile, but we're definitely going to see in a couple of seconds, because you know, it's not too hard to tell in a PvP who's the better player after the first, let's say, 7 minutes.
Well, he's just doing 2 and 2 in gas for the time being. He's still playing a little bit more mineral heavy. Same with Hushang over here. I mean, again, like the thing with all mirror matchups too, you'll see them be played down the same route 9 times out of 10, but it's usually around the 5-minute mark, especially for PvP, where you start seeing that very discernible difference. The only time earlier than this really is if we're going to start seeing something like a difference of 3 gateways for stalker pressure, opposed to like maybe a Stargate out slightly sooner.
Yeah.
This is one of the detriments of this matchup too. You can't chase away a scout very easily at all. So this probe for Hushang, as long as he's not walking through the mineral line, should be good to just keep scouting for quite some time. Literally probing the base. I can't believe I've never thought of that before.
I've just never said it because it's funny.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, there you go. Well, anyways, yeah, you pretty much get, like, PvP, you get, like, free scouting for the first 5 minutes till the stalker comes out, and then you gotta wait for an observer to get any more scouting. Actually, listening to Phoenix, but gotta be careful with that sentry energy in the beginning when you want to throw down a force field. Hushang did get a second gateway, so I'm not lying when I said that. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, you got a second gateway. He could apply a little bit of pressure with 3 stalkers. Space is already putting down a proxy pylon, though. That's weird.
I thought this was going to be for a proxy Stargate, but he builds it in base. Because he had still been hesitant to put down additional gateways.
That was a perfect opportunity, perfect timing, actually, on the proxy pylon for the gateway.
Like, why wouldn't you just put the proxy down? It's so much closer. King Sejong Station is a great map for air, but it's still really long from base to base.
Yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't know.
So what's he going to do, like, an Oracle into 3 Zealots underneath it or something? I mean...
Well, I don't really know if there's any Oracle or Well, there's Void Ray all-ins, but that would actually constitute like a proxy even more so because it's just an Oracle. Oracles are still fast enough, and it is an Oracle that like putting it over here, you're really just getting the benefit of it not being scouted. You know, which a proxy does for you too. But if it was a Void Ray, you'd want to get it as close as possible to do an all-in. It's going to be scouted by this Mothership Core though, and this is a great like it's just a great maneuver that any Protoss can really do. Honestly, granted that he's not getting a Phoenix because your Mothership Core is doomed, but
There goes
just
recall.
great scouting. Yeah, or he's recall. He just recalls.
The blink coming up behind this, really nice. He's gonna get probably about 3 probe kills before he's forced to recall. Actually, not if they run away like that. Nice little controller out of space. But yeah, he's gonna be able to recall. Now this means he won't have enough energy for an overcharge, but that's okay. The idea behind the blink. There we go. The idea behind blink is the stalkers will be able to cover this anyways. And having scouted that, he knows A, he's safe to actually take a base. Because if there's one thing an Oracle's not really gonna do, it's kill a Nexus. But
Yeah.
B, he's just gonna stay at home safe for a little while. Until that blink's complete, he can just camp the mineral line, and that Oracle is really gonna get nothing done.
Yeah. No, Space is getting a second one as well. I'm not really sure how well this is going to do. It's not going to do anything at all. But maybe later on, you can bring them back when the stalkers aren't patrolling the mineral line, get some free kills.
Well, I don't know what that probe was doing there, but Space should not have been there. I guess he saw the stalker count, so the Oracle doesn't go in? Maybe?
It's a pretty high stalker count. Like, if there's just 1 or 2 stalkers, you can go in there and start killing off some probes, but...
Ooh, I don't think you need to reveal the blink like that. Not that it's a big deal seeing blink or not, but... No, Space knows. Can't really get a lot done.
What does Hushang know? He knows that well, he knows no thing since the Mothership Core scouts. So he doesn't know that there's a Nexus on the way. You can only assume that they're not like powering up with 3 gateways outside your base, but that could be a possibility. And that's why Hushang is not pushing down his ramp. Because 3 stalkers in the mineral line, or 4 actually. That's not to deal with an Oracle. The rest of these could be patrolling the Nexus on the low ground.
Sorry for the camera spasm there, guys. Misclicked on part of the map. Not used to the slightly bigger ESL map here, but... Alright, Space gonna kill the pylon here in the top corner of the map. That's perfectly fine for the time being. Good that he cleans that up. Space, I don't think his head is revealed, no. Hushang does not know about the one down here.
I could come back. I mean, if he goes out to attack, sees an opportunity, that's a great proxy pylon to go ahead and deal some damage to the probe line.
Yeah, just warp in like 3 zealots, walk him over. Now, as far as the count for this game goes, one thing is, we're moving towards that robo-tech. Chances are we're going to see Immortals out of both players. One of the biggest things to watch at this point is, like, how many Immortals get made. I mean, 3 is kind of your magic number if you want to keep Stalkers, like, from destroying you, but, again, neither player really knows precisely how many Stalkers the other has, so it's kind of a question of, like, maybe make a couple on your way to Robo, or does one of them go faster Colossus?
We have seen people like, remember Crank? He went for a lot of Immortals and then up to Archons. Now, I don't believe he actually got a Colossus in the 2 PvPs that we cast.
Crank, when he did do that, though, I mean, those hallucinations are, like, the sexiest things I've seen in a PvP in a long time.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many other people have adopted this style, or if it is actually becoming, like, a style people do, or if it's just Crank. I don't know, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, for context, what we're talking about here, so it just doesn't sound like we're being cool and dropping names. Crank's the Protoss player from Axiom, of course, and one of the big things he did was he went for this very ground-centric army that involved like 5 or 7 hallucinated Archons, because even though they are hallucinated and they take bonus damage, they still have like 350 base shields. So I mean, those will take quite some time to chew through. And if you don't have an observer, you won't know if they're hallucinated or not.
Oracle was used the last second for a last-ditch scout, but it got a revelation off, and it did, in fact, scout most of the main, so... I mean, were you really going to do anything else with it? Maybe. Again, maybe, if he leaves. That pro line is open, but I think he still has another Oracle, so you can just use that one.
Well, here comes the Templar Archives out of Hushang, and that's kind of that next step. I mean, again, like, Colossus are nice, and you might want to have 1 or 2 later on, but... Unless you're maxed out, there's no necessity for them.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a pretty passive game. I'm starting to believe that Space is not actually platinum. Either you should check his profile next time, or even, we see some of the players on the ATC, they change servers and their alt account is only on platinum because they haven't played it in a while.
Yeah, I know Solar for a fact is bronze on purpose on Europe.
Yeah, something like that. So, but space so far has been matching evenly with Hushang. So, gotta just determine that, figure that out.
Yeah, I mean it's been odd to see it be so passive. I mean, you do get these scenarios where it's like kind of the no rush 10 minutes, for a lot of the mirror matchups, but be it Terra and a Zerg. But I mean, nobody's really tried anything. We do have some Zealots finally warped in to go for some aggression, but to go in blindly like this makes no sense. Like, Space knows his hallucinated Phoenix, the Oracle. I mean, not the Oracle, the Observer. They're all right there. He knows that the army's at home, so I guess he's just hoping to get some kills before dying, type thing.
Oh, he's going directly for the cannon. No, he's not. Never mind. I thought maybe he was going for the cannon, so then the Oracle can come back later. That would have been like a very expensive like foresight or something.
Sorry, the Observer took a shot that would have killed it, but the other Observer moved out of the way, so it ended up cloaking.
Hushang is going to go for a Warp Prism. This will probably do a lot more than Space's proxy pylon, which should be scouted really soon.
Space sees that. You'll see it also over here with the Oracle. So I mean, this Warp Prism's not going to be like a big surprise, but it does work best as a mobile pylon. Yeah, there we go. Now there is Colossus on the way here for Space finally. There's going to be extended thermal lines with this too, but yo, maybe he is platinum. Why the hell would you put your forges out here? Good God.
One mistake.
This is
down a platinum.
Right? No, I'm not trying. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be mean, but it's just like, your upgrades are very valuable to you in PvP. We have a +1 bonus in the favor. Sorry, +2 bonus in the favor of Hushang, and he has an upgrade lead. And if he goes up here for a fight, Space decides to back off, give up the third. He also gives up both of his upgrade centers.
Yeah, he's actually not using the second one. Even though he does have the gas. But he saw this army coming. He has got to know that he needs to be ready to defend. Luckily for him, Extended Balance will be done. But the thing is about Colossus, like, they can hit at a time where your 1 or 2 Colossus really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, the Archons here will certainly soak a lot of hits. The Blink Stalker count is going to be a lot better than regular Stalkers. But he's got to use the Blink, not just eat these up. But you know what? It's not even the Stalkers, it's not even the Archons. Look at these Zealots do work!
Yeah. So I guess this entire time, Space has been building that army up with Stalkers, which is odd because he never got Blink, as far as I know. And,
right.
You don't use... Blink Stalkers are so useless after a while. Very rarely do we see them, the deal breakers, when they blink forward inside the Colossus or something like that.
Well, the next map is going to be Habitation Station. Let's go get this up real quick here for y'all. We won't even waste your time with some commercials. Just try and get in here as quick as possible. Alright, so who's Hushang? There we go. Invite.
That's so weird.
In Space, was it?
Yeah.
I don't see Space on here.
Oh, I was like just on his profile. Whoops.
Oh, if you're on his profile, can you invite him? I don't see him on the list.
I was just on his profile, that's why I said whoops.
Oh, past tense. I see.
Yeah, I was looking at his profile and it was like he's diamond. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then his border is platinum, so I don't understand.
I don't know.
Battle.net.
It's coming up against a Masters player, let's be honest. Neither of those borders really matter. A lot of the time.
Yo, top diamond. It's not what it used to be.
Shut up, zombie girl.
Saying. It's... Hey, I'm not lying. But Hushang used to be Grandmaster, so...
Alright, I think these guys are just about ready. Let me go load up a map intro here. What is Habitation Station? And it's a PvP. Alright. And last but not least, the player scores. We'll just get this started. We'll see you guys here in just a sec for more Copa America action. Alright, welcome back to Copa America. This is game number 2 and the first best of 3 of the day. Spawning here in the top right corner of the map, though, from Crossfire Gaming, the Red Protoss player, Hushang. Himshang. Mishang? Hushang.
I see what you did there. That took me a little bit. The upper left as the blue Protoss, it is space.
I don't know, I'm hoping you played Portal 2, right?
No.
No?
No.
Dude, you know, no Monty Python, no Portal games. It's really hard to be friends with you.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Okay, well, the cool kids out there who have played Portal 2, does anyone else read this guy's name and just immediately want him to make an observer and be like, "Spay," like little the little orb things? I don't know. He's got to pull out something crazy this game. Hence the Portal crazy guy reference. But I mean, it's gonna be so difficult in PvP. There's not a lot of cheeses you can do. I mean, you can kind of try and go for like all-ins if you want, but to what avail do you two-gate if you get through round 1 through struggles, and then round 2 is gonna be even harder. For space, I don't want to say it's not worth trying or anything like that, but he's gonna have a hard day even if he manages to beat out Hushang.
Yeah. So, regardless of what his profile says he is, he was actually like, supply for Hushang. It was really just his composition that was really, really terrible. I mean, he was actually only 9 supply or whatever behind, but when you're made of Blink Stalkers, I mean, that's not a good composition against what Hushang had. It's the worst composition in PvP, actually. Probably. There might be worse. I don't wanna challenge anyone to make a worse composition. But anyways,
that's like a Fun Day Monday thing. Like, all right, here's one composition. So. Make one that has the same supply but is somehow less effective.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's actually kind of a good way to put it. But either way, he's either gonna fix that, get that good composition, or he's gotta do something that wins him in the early game. Hushang's actually the one going for an Oracle right now. This is coming out a lot earlier, I think, because the pro gave up on scouting really early.
That and a lot faster. This is close to air spawn locations a lot compared to like the distance on King Sejong. So this Oracle is gonna hit space really fast.
Yeah, and it's just by the time the Oracle hit for space, I mean, of course Hushang had already scouted it, so we knew to warp in stalkers. But there was enough stalkers to go around to protect that mineral line. Here, there's only going to be 1. I don't even think that a cannon will be ready for the mothership core.
I don't know, the timing on that's going to be finicky, because it does regenerate, it does generate fairly quick. But it's actually going to be Phoenix, not Oracle. Okay.
Okay.
This will actually snipe off the mothership core, which will end up working in the end, fear of that overcharge.
It's true, they can snipe off the mothership cores, and they can also, lead up to an attack off of 3 gateways. But Hushang's not the one throwing on additional gateways, it is space that is throwing on the extra 2.
I really like the way 3 stalkers can play into this matchup. Especially if you do 3 gateways behind it. It can do a lot of damage, and in some cases you can turn it into that all-in that wins you the game. But for space, I don't imagine that's on the I don't think that's on the edge of his fingertips by any means.
Yeah. So that Phoenix is so early that I would highly doubt it was a hallucinated Phoenix. But that's just me. And of course, I'm all-knowing because I'm an observer. Space could still think it until he scouts the Stargate right now, which surprisingly, that mission core got over there. Like, the Phoenix walked past it and was like, whatever.
Well, the 2 Phoenix are going to come home. No kills on either of them just yet. But this actually forced out an overcharge out of Hushang.
Interesting choice, especially since he saw 3 gateways. I mean, there could be... He's going to wait for Blink, apparently, but there could have been some, pressure on the home front with the proxy pylon.
I just feel like that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, some good probe micro could have changed that up, but
like the Phoenixes were gonna kill it anyways too. If you really wanted to kill it, you could, take some hull damage on 1 Phoenix and kill the mothership core.
Well, 4 right now. We're gonna see that magic number of 5. He may go on higher than this, but I mean, the thing is, going forward in the game, guys, as long as you retain every single Phoenix right now, don't even lose 1, not to mistakes, not to anything. When you fight later on, if you're on even terms with your opponent, you're actually going to be ahead because these can graviton beam up and just just straight up crowd control 4 stalkers. Take out the immortals from a fight. Oh, he's picking up so many of these probes. The probes are running too, so lost mining on top of this.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. But he puts pushes them back. You need to get blink when your opponent is going Phoenixes, and I think that really cut into Space's like game plan. I think he got the 3 gateways because he really did want to apply pressure, but now he thought it was Phoenixes. He was like, well, can I? Like everything's gonna be lifted, or if everything's not lifted on Hushang's side, then all my probes are gonna get lifted.
This is getting pretty bad for Space. I mean, 7 workers dead is not the end of the game, but if Hushang expands anytime soon, then Space is gonna fall so far behind.
Yeah. Already down by 6 probes. Doesn't really have anything else going for him. And he has blink, but like...
Well, there's almost enough Phoenixes to actually take on the Stalkers.
Yeah, he really has been warping in a lot more army there.
Actually, I warped someone on the other side of the map. A couple zealots over here, but the Sentry with the Force Field, a little too good. Mothership Core coming out as well. And while Space is looking to get more aggressive, I mean... Every mineral he devotes on this side of the field, it's just more chance these Phoenixes run rampant on his mineral line.
Yeah, and he has to keep 5 Stalkers back at home. That is a lot of his army. That is more than half of his army, I think. So, he would love to have been pulling this aggression a little bit earlier, and of course without the Phoenixes.
Alright, bonus damage versus light, which Zealots actually are, so Phoenixes are actually just going to make mincemeat out of everything over here.
Yeah. Yeah, not... See, I thought it was a good idea of them not to do the 3-hit attack, because the Phoenixes would just take care of it. You had to put up your forces. But then he did it, like, at a later time. Nah, I was just kind of hopeful.
I think he
he'd mess up somehow.
I think he was just feeling really pressured by the Phoenix at the same time. I mean, he couldn't do anything at home. He knows his mineral line's been dived into several times. But on that same token, it's like, well, just warp in 6 Stalkers like your opponent did last game, and sit in the mineral line.
Yeah. And Phoenixes can't take care of this either, so try and play the defensive. I'll expand faster than you. Oh well. He's already down by about half supply, and he's down 10 probes as well, and Hushang's... Oh, Space is gonna get a Templar Archives to try and get maybe an Archon to deal with these Phoenixes.
Or feedbacks.
Oh, that's a good point.
But not really gonna matter. Stalkers are busy bleeding out. Any Templar warped in are gonna get immediately graviton beamed. He's warping them one at a time. Oh god, it's so painful.
It's what I expected from last game. I think Hushang was just testing the waters last game, because the biggest mistake you can make is assume that your opponent's what their border says they are.
Yeah.
Every single game, but now he's like, nah, I got this.
Yep, safe than sorry. GG is called Hushang. We'll take a very smooth 2-0 in the first round of the day.